Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of RLG Cast Reviews. Today we're talking Transformers 1, the animated Transformers movie. He has a Transformers shirt. I got
United
United
Empire.
Empire.
Empire works.
Um,
It works.
it works. So we're gonna talk the Transformers 1 movie,
Yeah.
and JD will give you a rundown of what it's about. We will talk a little bit of non-spoilers. We'll talk
hmm
mostly spoilers. We won't drag this one out. There, we will be doing a Transformers tier list, so look out for that. Putty couldn't make it because there's a hurricane. But we will be doing the 4:30 movie, the Kevin Smith movie
With
next
Putty.
week for
With
next
Putty.
week.
Yeah.
So
So this is an animated film that serves as kind of like a prequel to the Michael Bay films, and it tells the origin stories of the Autobots, the Decepticons, Optimus Prime, and Megatron, and some of the other fan favorite characters that we know and love. And yeah, that's basically it. It's an origin story.
yeah, and I think from two sides of it, it kind of works because it leaves an opening, which there's no spoilers, but it leaves an
Mhm.
opening for continued stories in this
Yep.
world that could lead to that. But it also, I liked how it loosely leaves it open as well to connect to all the other
Yep.
Transformers stuff, maybe minus the original Transformers movie.
The
But it
86 one.
but you
Yeah.
can also use this as a connection to the animated series everything because it's
Yeah.
the beginning of it kind of, right? And I thought in that sense it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It flows well in that sense, especially.
The
And
animation was really well done.
okay, I really liked the animation.
The art style,
Okay.
yes.
I know the actual animation. The art style I was a bit iffy on because it's very flat and it kind of at moments looked like Reboot or something where it was like a
Mm.
YTV. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. Like a
But they know
TV
reboot, yeah.
movie or something. It's good, but it's not great. But I think the
It
actual
reminds me like
animation,
Beast Wars or whatever that
yeah,
Transformers,
the
yeah.
actual animation is fantastic. The way they
Yeah.
move and they fight is wonderful.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not very. It's weirdly bland looking at times and stuff like that. Um,
There
but
were a few nice shots when they go above surface for the first time. Yeah.
there's, like I said, it's not bad, but it's like even above the surface, it's really like brown.
Yeah.
But the shot, like the work that they do on the movement and like the way things are
Yeah.
happening, like when those diamonds are popping up. Um,
Those robot deer things.
yeah, and it was pretty good in that sense. And I think the
Yeah.
voice acting is pretty well done.
Yeah, this
I
is an all-star cast.
you weren't at all upset about
Tyree,
Brian Tyree
Tyree
Henry,
Henry.
um, and Chris Hemsworth not sounding like Megatron or Optimus, though
Optimist.
you
Yeah.
do kind of get a little flash of both of them maybe having that moment, and you're like, okay, that's
Mm.
pretty cool. Um, I really, 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 really like the little bit of the Steve Buscemi thing.
Oh, a Starscream.
I thought that was so cool because everyone
Yeah.
always likes Starscream, and this is like not a spoiler. We won't talk about what happens there, but I think the fact that he was the like head honcho in charge
He
makes
was
me
the
feel
leader,
like.
was it the leader of the Cybertronian High Guard?
Mhm. And I thought that was kind of cool because it's like Starscream was always like
A
he
leader.
he was kind of like the Raptor,
Yeah.
like or Dinobot, sorry.
Dinobot, yeah.
Where it was like he's a bad guy and he was like such a high ranking bad guy that he probably should have been the leader if it wasn't for a Megatron, but
Tron, yeah.
there's a reason why he has this like weird love-hate relationship with Megatron. Same with Dinobot. It was because
Yeah.
it's like I know that's not the real Megatron or the real Optimus Prime, but they're members of that like family.
Yeah.
And the reasoning is like because they disagree because they should be the leader, but because now
Yeah.
they're butting heads with this person, like I already know what to do, don't tell me what to do type of thing.
Yeah.
And that this kind of like shows you how that starts, where it's
That
like,
dynamic,
and you
yeah.
get the beginning of the voice, stat, scream, like and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I thought that was cool. I thought the introduction to a lot of the characters was cool. I really liked.
And they didn't overdo it with the cameos.
No, and the comedy was good. The comedy was
Yeah.
genuinely good. I think Michael Keegan Key was really good.
Yes.
Um, I liked a
And
lot of
shout
them.
out to his buddy Steve.
Big time. Big time. Steve is like what's his name from Deadpool? Pete? Is it Peter?
Peter, yeah.
Um,
He's
but
like the blow up doll in DDT wrestling.
there you go. Exactly. He it was the thing for me that my biggest takeaway that took away from this movie, I
Hmm.
think, and big Transformers fans are gonna love this movie. But I
Yes.
think you're gonna overlook some things because of bias. The
Rose-colored glasses,
the
maybe.
movie moves way too fast. It does
Yeah,
not
it's
slow
really
down
short.
ever.
It's like 100 minutes, isn't
And
it?
the pace is frenetic. It's so
Yeah.
fast and so all over the place that it's such a simple story that works, but the pacing makes it kind of hard to follow because
Yeah.
it never slows down and you're like, okay, give me a second to breathe. I need to
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden there's this like epic scale battle. It's like, where did this come from? And then all of a
and
sudden
it's like
another epic
I just
scale
need time
battle.
to process, and there's
Yeah.
no processing time in this, and I got to take away from that. I also think that outside of Optimus Prime
Hmm.
and Megatron, mostly Megatron, not even really Optimus. There's not much development of the characters. They kind of just tell you this is who this person is and that's who
Yeah.
they are. Um, Not to say that that makes the movie bad, but it definitely made it so I could have went a lot higher with a score, and it kind of
Yeah.
like pulled me down. The music is good. The sound effects are
Yeah.
really good.
Even
Um,
even the little like nods to like older, like they made a comment about like everybody knows from the 86 Transformers movie, that big song, you got to touch, dun, you got to. So she says to Orion Pax, that's his name in this movie before he becomes Optimus Prime, is you got the touch, but you don't got the power when he's mining the walls, right? So it's
I,
like little things like that that are
and I
like
like
a
that
great little nostalgia berry for
I
us.
like that they changed the lore,
Hmm.
but they also created a new lore that's deeper and better. It makes more sense. It makes everything else that you
But I
see
mean,
later make more sense.
with whatever multiverses and like different timelines that we have going now, I'm not upset with changing the lore. G1 is still G1 for me, and I still keep it in that regard, right? But this is telling a different story with telling in a different way for a modern audience, I
Mhm.
guess, too, right? So I kind of like that.
It does work, and I think
Yeah.
we'll get to it when we do the tier list, which you guys will see. It's
Hmm.
going to come out a couple days after this, but it it's I had a lot of trouble like deciding where I would rank this because
Hmm.
when I score it, I feel like I kind of have scored it a little bit higher than where I would have scored the top Transformers movies, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't know if it's better than the best Transformers movies like Bumblebee
Yeah. Bumblebee was, yeah.
or the Beast Wars one, whatever that was called,
Yes, Rise of the
and
Beasts or something.
or even Transformers One. But it's like it belongs up there. But
Hmm.
as an overall movie, it's much better crafted, I think, than most of
Yeah.
those. It's just I don't know if the story and like the feeling works as much. It's there's not a lot of there's no character to emotionally pull you in. There's no human character, right? So it's
Yeah.
you
Which
I
I
mean,
kind of like.
I do, but I think that with that comes the fact of like it's like Alien versus Predator. If
Right.
you remove the humans out of it, which I'm not saying it's a good movie to begin with, and the humans are kind of the worst part, but without the human aspect, just watching two faceless or like
It
emotionless
it
things.
removes you from the film because you don't have an avatar to associate
Exactly.
with.
And I think these are small elements. That's why I kind of like it goes where it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say about non-spoilers before we?
No.
Okay, so for me, genuinely, this was a good, entertaining, and a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
I
Fun.
don't know
I'd
if it's
watch
one
it
of the
again.
best movies. I think on a watchability factor, it's a 7.2 for me, 7.1,
Yeah.
7.2. Let's just say even a 7. We'll just call it a flat 7. I think that makes more sense for me. Um, what about you?
I'm around there with you. I'm 7.2, 7.3. I had a good
Yeah.
time with it. It, threw out the right amount of nostalgia berries from being an OG G1 fan as myself too.
And I think that's what it does the best compared to the live action movies, where they do a good job of giving you some nostalgia. This movie was kind of all nostalgia, but done in a way for modern audiences.
Yeah.
It wasn't preying on the pockets of old fans with its nostalgia. It was
Yeah.
somehow nostalgia for new fans. And it didn't, I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense, but
no, I totally get what you're saying, but yeah, absolutely. And that's the reason why. And I've always like, there's one, we'll talk about it in spoilers, but there's one, his character development is fantastic in this film. Just the way he does a one, like we'll talk
okay,
about
well,
that
here
as
you go. 3, 2, 1, spoilers
spoilers.
go.
Megatron story arc in this film.
amazing. He's the best part of this whole movie.
Yeah. Like how he idolizes, was it Megatronius or whatever his name
But I
was? And
do think the one issue I will take away, and I didn't really want to mention that,
he does the heel turn too fast.
way too fast. It almost doesn't make sense. And I think maybe that's us watching wrestling too much now. It's like that watching wrestling has really affected the way that I watch movies.
Yes.
And most sensitively, most noticeably is the way people turn from good to bad. Because there needs to be a good story arc on it. And here
Yeah.
but the movie's moving so fast. Like I said,
But
that's
I
my
mean, in a
biggest
way,
issue.
he doesn't, Megatron feels what he does is right. And he doesn't care who he has to step
Mhm.
over in the path.
I don't
Right.
like to be a guy that's like, oh, this movie should be longer or shorter, but I think 10 more minutes on this movie would have benefited
Would
a
have
lot.
helped. Yeah.
If they waited 10 more minutes to turn Megatron, it would have made a lot more sense because you could have had you could have put more of a wedge there because
Yeah.
his reasoning for not for turning on Optimus after they've been
It's
friends
because they
for
don't
so
want to
long,
kill Sentinel Prime.
it doesn't, it's like, huh? And then another thing that I want to say that I didn't talk about earlier is the way that they show their friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for anyone, okay, if you're here, maybe you watch
You see
this.
it coming.
Not only do you see it coming, but they don't explain the background of their friendship until towards the end of the movie when you get like a 1 minute breeze
Post,
by of how
not a
they
post
became
credit.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like,
That's
huh?
it. I watch your back, you watch mine.
There should have
Okay.
been the beginning of the movie. So I would say add 5 minutes to the beginning, add 5 minutes to him turning.
Show them
At five
becoming
minutes of
friends.
them, like just a montage of them meeting and becoming friends and show them over the years, like working together because they're robots. They don't go from like little robots to big robots. They're born as fully grown
Robots.
robots. So you could have just had them a little bit more time developing their friendship. So I felt more when he turned, and
Yeah.
then it would make more sense on the turn. You could have had more of a build up on the turn.
Yeah.
Um, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. And how Starscream just follows him blindly without like,
exactly. And he shouldn't because he defeated him. And I think, but I
yeah.
love that scene. I think that scene is fucking amazing. That's probably maybe the
Yeah.
best scene of the whole movie is the Steve Buscemi and Megatron moment of,
Arguing. Yeah.
and to me, that was like, I really liked where that went. But like, it's a compared to wrestling. I think the long-term story of how Roman became the tribal chief and
Mm-hmm.
then went on as a heel made a lot of sense. Roman's quick comeback to not to being a face
Yeah.
when we talked about this, they should have dragged out that storyline for
When
Bloodline.
and now he's tag teaming with Cody Rhodes at the next pay-per-view.
You
Less
could
than a
have
year.
you should have waited a couple more months, maybe all the way till Survivor
A
Series
series
to have him
or
come
the
back.
Rumble.
Even, yeah. Right? But I can see where they're going with this. Like I said, I think they're gonna. We're talking about wrestling for a second. I think they're gonna segue out Cody out of that story into something else, and then it's gonna lead
Yeah.
to a Mania story where The Rock comes back and they make The Rock choose the side, and
Yeah.
then The Rock is gonna go heel, and then Roman Reigns versus The Rock, and I think that's what we're gonna
And
get
that's
there.
where we're gonna get. That's where we'll finally get that. Okay. But
Anyways,
back to the topic at
back
hand.
to this topic. I do
Tune into
think.
my channel for a state where we discuss something
Yeah, check
similar.
out his channel where it's all about wrestling right now. There's some gaming stuff there if you like gaming.
Yeah. Kind of transitioned away from it a little bit,
Yeah,
but
check out Putty, check out Five for Talking if you like hockey.
yeah. Yeah.
But I do think overall, especially like I said, enjoyability and entertainment
Yeah.
factor, it's there. It
Absolutely. I
exists
had a lot
more
of
than
fun
any
with this.
Transformers movie ever.
Yeah.
Are the action scenes maybe not as crazy as the Michael Bay or Beyond Michael Bay stuff? Beyond Bay, the BB era.
Yeah, the BB era.
But I no, but I do think what's here works. They don't
Yeah.
overdo it. It's not long drawn out like Transformers Dark of the Moon where it just it started off such a good movie and then it just was fighting and you're like, oh, it's two
And
robots.
it's too many characters. Too many characters.
But shout out to No Skybeam.
Yeah.
They didn't go full DC or Marvel here and just drop a Skybeam.
Yeah.
I super entertaining, really good voice acting. You don't care that Chris Hemsworth is not doing the voice, and he talks about it.
Yeah.
They both talk about it, how they didn't want to do it. And my
It
favorite
breathes
clip,
it breathes new life into the characters.
my favorite clip that I saw was them in a presser, and Michael Keegan Key or Keegan Michael Key, sorry, talking about how his favorite guy was what's the one that turns into a juke tape deck?
Soundwave.
Soundwave, because he's like, it was cool because he was like an inanimate object. He wasn't a car. And
He
like he could
wasn't.
shoot
Yeah.
out the little robots out of him, like the tapes turned into things, and like he
Yeah.
played the music, and like that's kind of where the idea of Bumblebee came from.
Yeah.
Like not Bumblebee we know, because Bumblebee
Yeah.
existed in a different sense of
Yeah. In a different era.
and but I think overall it's a really
But
fun experience.
yeah, and he was great with like his comedic timing, like
Mm,
battle mask. Oh, I got blade hands. Like, you know what I mean? Like the genuine excitement that he brought to that character. You could tell that the whole
exactly. And
cast
and
had a
like
lot of fun with this.
there might have been a lack of enthusiasm from Scarlett Johansson, but I think the moments
She's
when it
always been a little
mattered,
wooden. Yeah.
well, the moments when it mattered, she fit in well with the team.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
really like the thing that okay, so the changes that they do is like Megatron isn't Megatron and Optimus isn't Optimus.
No.
They make Optimus a prime. What's his name
Yes.
again?
Orion Pax.
Orion Pax, and they make him a prime.
Yes. And
He's
Megatron
chosen
is
to be a
just
prime.
D16. He doesn't even have a name.
And but I don't know, how does he become all powerful because he eats the or he takes the
The cog from Sentinel Prime.
Sentinel Prime. So technically Megatron is a prime.
In a way, yes. Yes.
Because isn't the original telling that there was two like leadership factions, the Megatron ones and the
The
Optimus Prime
Decepticons and the
ones?
Autobots, yeah.
But there was like two big, like the is like a family lineage and primes are a family lineage. But in this,
Yes.
neither one of them are. They both just obtain that status.
They obtain the status. Yeah. They're granted the status.
And but you see, we meet the Celestials of
Mm-hmm.
the
The
universe.
quintessence.
I'd love to see Unicron
Yeah.
bring back Orson Welles,
Yep. You can do it with AI now.
make it Marlon Brando.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
they
it's
massacred my boy.
hey, massacred my boy. Make it Dennis Hopper. I'm not coming to set. I'm gonna do cocaine.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, I was talking about Apocalypse Now all day today. Um, but yeah, I
It's fun.
genuinely enjoyed it.
I
won't drag this
recommend it.
out.
Go out and watch it. This is one of the more fun experiences I've had.
See, and like I was telling Putty to watch it. Putty didn't really seem like he wanted to watch it, and I was like, dude, I didn't think so either. And then I watched it, and I was like, wow.
Putty, he has this, like, I love the guy, but he has his things he likes. And when you change what he likes, he doesn't like it.
That's true. But I do feel like he does like Transformers, and that could be why it kind of like shifted the focus of what it is.
Yeah.
That being said, I enjoyed this. I think you should watch it. You said that people should watch it, and check it out and
Yeah.
look out for our tier list, check out his channel, and we're gonna end it right here. Thank you for watching.